Hello, my lovelies. This is Paisley Wild, and we're off adventuring into the spaces between. And we're being broadcast live tonight, of course, on Truth Frequency Radio, iHeartRadio, Tune In, and TalkStream Live, and also on YouTube. Hi, YouTube. And let's see what else is new. I don't know. If you are listening in on YouTube, make sure you stop in and hit that thumbs up button. Like, subscribe, that kind of thing. Yep, burrs. And no matter how you are listening, make sure you just send me the email or stop in the chat room and say hello. Or if you have questions, let me know. Because I do try to do questions. Hi, Lucky. Hi, Leo. Hi, Jess. Hey, Drone. I see just a couple people. I know there's more of you there, but I get it. It's a Friday night. And here in North Idaho, I know it's September, but I got to tell you, it really feels like October. And to celebrate, I'm drinking hot cocoa tonight. Actually, it's more mild cocoa. It's not very hot. That's okay. It's chocolate. Let's see. Let's see, website. Yeah, I know. Can't believe it's already September. And we're almost halfway through September, which is bizarro. So if you want to learn more about me, my path, what I do, you can always check out the website. It's paisleywild.com. So www.paisley.com or wilde.com. That's it. I can almost... Oofed. Yes, Drone. Colonics. Colon health. It's amazing how much of our health, our mental health, emotional health, physical health, digestive health, all of those things are tied to the stuff in our gut. It's crazy. Absolutely crazy. So check it out. Get annual exams. They're real. Which is funny because I'm talking about medical stuff tonight anyways, ish. I'm not a doctor. I don't play one on TV. So I'm giving information tonight for the sake of entertainment purposes. If you choose to use this information in any other way, shape, or form, it's entirely on your shoulders. It's not my fault. So I did not stay at a Holiday Inn Express either. Just saying. While you are doing research into taking care of yourself and such, make sure you check out iLife.com. iLife combines the non-hallucinogenic properties of the ayahuasca with the high-quality CBD to help support you, all of you. And yeah, when it comes to our health, it's complicated. So tonight I'm talking about herbal remedies. Some of them are traditional, some are not, that kind of thing. And so that's what we're talking about, because if you catch the news headlines at all, I'm not even talking about actually reading the stories or listening to the news or anything, just catching the headlines. There is so much out there. Drone also recommends back massages. Yes. Here in Sandpoint, we have North Idaho Massage Academy. They have students that do discounted massages, and sometimes you can get like an hour and a half for $40, which even a bad massage feels great sometimes. I'm just saying. It's all that self-care. Remember, self-care. But yes, when we look at the headlines and there's a lot going out in our medical world, our medical communities around the world. I know here in North Idaho, we're seeing an increase in COVID diagnoses and such. I have all sorts of personal opinions when it comes to COVID. And if I get into it later, I might, I don't know. It is kind of a soapbox night, so we'll see. And it's It's interesting because I'm seeing headlines where vaccines are becoming mandated. You can't seek this kind of care or that kind of care. You can't have this done. You can't have that done. You can't go to these places. You can't work for these businesses if you don't get the vaccine. Now, as someone who has some issues with a lot of the ingredients in the vaccines, I'm actually allergic to some of them, and it's complicated. And that's just the way of it. Some people have religious issues, some have ethical issues with the vaccine, and whether you decide to get the poke or not, that is entirely up to you. I just strongly recommend you do your research and make an informed decision. Research and informed decisions rarely come from social media. There's a lot of stuff that's shared on social media, but a lot of it is opinion and not fact. That's why you have problems with fake news. And there will be facts that get nailed as non-facts or fake news because other people's opinions disagree with it. It's a popularity contest, and it's a bunch of BS. So, is there stuff on social media that has truth to it? Yes, absolutely. But just like the Tide Pod Challenge did nothing for your health to make you healthier or clean or anything like that. It actually killed you. Let's not do that, okay? So do your research. What is truly good for you? Drone says Drone strongly recommends that you take the jab and stick it where the sun don't shine. And not like a suppository, but kind of, yeah. And Leo says, can of worms, yes. Absolutely. I do know a lot of people that have been told that they need surgery for one reason or another and cannot get it due to a shortage of availability in the hospitals. Some of that is a shortage of staff. For instance, in Spokane, which is just a little ways away. We joke around and call it Spokompton or Spokanistan. But Spokane, I live in Idaho. We can poke fun, right? And they are having to reduce some of their traffic patrols and put the whole program basically on hold. Not because they don't want to do it, because they do plan on, still pulling over those egregious people, the folks that are being blatant in their disregard for the rules, like speed limits and, not running the stop sign, that kind of thing. Mostly because they don't have the staff. They've had a lot of people retire. They haven't had very many people apply. Just like many employers in this region, they're having a hard time finding employees. So are the medical facilities, so are hospitals, nursing homes, home health care, schools, grocery stores, food joints. We've got restaurants that are planning on being closed for the winter because they don't have enough staff. Not because there's not enough business, but because there's not enough staff. There's not enough people to work. We have a Wendy's getting ready to open here in the next couple months. And a rumor has it they are starting out at $18 an hour for entry-level employees. Minimum wage in the state of Idaho, folks, is $7.35 per hour. So $18 an hour for entry-level anything, that's a really big deal. Now, granted, rentals here is kind of ridiculous. I saw a 2-bedroom, 1-bath apartment for $1,400. And it wasn't like, oh, my stars, it's so expensive. It was like, oh, my stars. I might actually be able to afford that one if I had to, but it was a very small apartment. No. So it, yeah. So cost of living, yeah, that's definitely kind of complicates things, and there's just not as many employees for some reason. So I don't know why, Well, I do kind of. A lot of the baby boomers are retiring. And we don't have enough people to step up and take those jobs. So isn't that just fine? How do you do? Anyways, that's me getting into politics, and I just have all sorts of opinions, but that doesn't mean I know anything, just opinions. So tonight, talking about some of the things that you find in your kitchen cupboard. So the kitchen witchery 101, basically. What, yeah, there's a lot of people can't even get a job because they refuse the vaccine for whatever reason. Now, if you have a medical exemption or a religious exemption, there are some rules and regulations within the U.S. Constitution you might want to look into about, if you're refusing it based upon your ethics or your religion, and someone says, no, you got to work. I know, like the state of Idaho and our governor, Governor Little, they're looking into going toe-to-toe with the federal government regarding the vaccine mandates. Now, I feel very complicated about a lot of that. I want people to be healthy, but at the same time, for crying out loud, don't give me a stick. So yeah, complicated. And there's a lot of people not able to work or do, or get medical care because they are not getting the stick. So, or because the hospitals are full. So what are we going to do? What happens if we get hurt or if we're sick or we have a problem? Or shipping has been slow, partly because the ports are having a hard time with staff. Shipping companies are having a hard time with staff. Pharmacies are having a hard time with staff. And it's an interesting supply and demand situation that we live in. So what happens if you don't have stuff readily available, if you can't go to the doctor and say, hey, I've got this problem, what should I do? Well, so we're going to talk about it. And if you have questions, ask me. Don't be afraid to call in. You absolutely can. That number is 213-233-3998. Or if you're across the pond in the UK, it is 44203-393-2871. Leo says, yeah, I want to work, but right now he can't for specific reasons. I get it. I have some health issues myself. I had an appointment with one of my doctors, and I don't have to have my hips replaced now. Maybe later. We'll see. Yay. But I have an appointment in a couple weeks for my back, and everybody is saying that I probably will have to have back surgery. So, yeah. So yes, I'm not talking about the wild things that grow out in the yard, which there are a lot of. There's wild spinach, which is really good. It's called lamb's ear, I think. You can pop the seeds on those even, and like popcorn, and it tastes kind of nutty like popcorn, which I think is interesting. So we're starting with the things in your kitchen. First thing, almost everybody out there. Drone has a good idea. Drone says, house papers drawn up by a paralegal or law student that says you can sue them if said health injection causes any injury to your body and that you only get one of. Interesting. Will they sign it? Will they not sign it? You can do that. If you ever ask for care specifically and your doctor doesn't want to do it, you can ask for that specific note to be charted in your notes, saying, hey, my doctor refused to take care of this for me or refused to test me for something. And often they get kind of grouchy and stressed, and they will go ahead and test you if you ask. Interesting. So there's a lot of things out there, secrets to being an adult, kind of like the secret Starbucks menu. Yeah, you got to pay attention to. So, all right. So, yeah, very first thing. Almost everybody has, guess what, salt in their cupboard, right? Don't we all? What do we not use salt on? Well, I don't put salt on my breakfast cereal, but that's about it, really. So salt, it's everywhere. You can find salt deposits pretty much all over the world, and there are places where it's farmed even at this point. Once upon a time, salt was so high in value that it was used as money because it was really, really hard to obtain. People had to go to the coast and basically harvest salt water and let it evaporate, and then collect the salt granules after that. So yeah, salt was a really, really big deal. Now, of course, salt's pretty much everywhere. There's table salt, which is iodized salt or non-iodized salt. Some of that's good for you, some of it's not. Not all salt is created equal, unfortunately. Pickling salt's a little different. There's flake salt, there's granulated salt, there's salt chunks, there's salt lamps. You can get salt slabs to cook upon. Salt, right? I generally use kosher salt or pink Himalayan salt in my rituals. But in a pinch, salt is salt. Has some properties straight across the board. And salt has quite a few beneficial properties. It doesn't matter if it's a ritual or spell or to eat. Salt's good. There is quite a few different things when it comes to hold on. Yeah. Anyways, there's black salt, which is something a little different, and it's more of a magical thing, so we're not talking about that tonight. So just salt. If you are purchasing salt, make sure you're using ethical resources, just like any of your other herbs or things that you buy. Make sure you are ethically sourcing your ingredients, whatever they are. So at its very, very basic, salt is cleansing. You can cleanse pretty much any crystal or stone in salt. Most of your jewelry could be cleansed in salt. Jars, your containers could be cleansed in salt. You sprinkle it over there. There's a lot of salt out there, and you can use it for cleansing a lot. In rituals, salt can be used as a boundary. So it just adds additional protection to whatever you might have going on. And if you're using it in a ritual or spell, salt is considered to represent earth. It can be used to purify or cleanse a space, like a room or a house or an item, or even people. You can cleanse people with it. So if you put salt in the corners of your room, it can banish or keep malevolent energies away. You can use blessed salt water to repel evil spirits or demons. If you spill salt, you should cast it into your home fire. So if you have a fireplace, put it in your fireplace, or if you have a cauldron, you can burn it in your cauldron, that kind of thing, so that household brownies or sprites can use it. If you share salt with someone, it's symbolic of sharing a bond between the people. So it used to be people will say, "Oh, we broke bread together, we've bonded," that kind of thing. Salt is considered to be a higher value, a stronger commodity, if you will. If you're sharing salt at a meal or something, like one person provides meat, the other person provides salt, you have a meal together, and yes, it's a big deal. And salt is very much a preservative. People have been using salt to preserve fish and meat for pretty much ever. And it just kind of makes your food taste good. But as a preservative, salt is symbolic of incorruptibility and is contrary to the destructive nature of demons. So if you are having a malevolent or having issues with a malevolent entity in your home or office or your room or whatever, you can use salt to cleanse the space, to banish that entity. There's a little bit of ritual involved often, but those are pretty easy. That's the kind of thing that you don't want to overcomplicate. Just keep it simple. More things you add to it and complicate it, the harder it is to focus and do the thing. Drone says the only rock which tastes good is salt. Yes, I have seen, and the number of people I have seen in crystal shops, rock shops, that actually lick the salt lamps is ridiculous. It's like, seriously, you licked it. Why did you lick it? What the heck are you doing? So, yeah, salt. Very, very good for you. Medical reasons, though, for salt. If you gargle with salt water, it helps clean out your throat or purge some of that infection that you might have in your throat to your tonsils. Salt helps you stay hydrated. Now, time out real quick. Everything in moderation. Don't overuse any herb of any kind, or for medical reasons or not. Sure, if you use enough nutmeg, you might have, hallucinations and see things and have visions, but that same level of nutmeg might, kill your liver too. So, don't overdo it. So when I say salt can help you be hydrated, yeah, it absolutely can, because water follows sodium. That's part of the reason why if you take a bath, your fingers get all pruny, you're losing water and your skin's reacting and it's trying to help you to grip, so you get pruny hands. But bloating, things that swell in the water, like vegetables, if they get a little limp, you put them in the cold water, they kind of stiffen up, and it's because the water is following the sodium into the vegetable. So too much salt and you retain water. Too little salt and you become dehydrated. You have to keep that balanced. Sea salts have a really broad mineral profile, and so they're much better for you, of course. And because they have those minerals and those electrolytes, they help promote good vascular health. And since it is mineral heavy and it has those electrolytes, sea salt can help to keep your electrolytes balanced. Because without salt, you can have issues with fatigue, irregular heartbeat, or seizures even, which is crazy. It can help support your nervous system. Because sodium actually helps regulate the water flow in your body, which is necessary to maintain a healthy nervous system. And it also is necessary for proper conduction of electrical signals within your nervous system. So if you're having a brain malfunction, one of the things to check is your electrolyte levels. Are they right? Salt can also help your sleep, since the minerals and electrolytes in sea salt can help regulate your hormones. It can also help you sleep better at night. Now, I'm not saying you should go lick your salt lamp before you go to sleep. I'm just saying that if you keep yourself balanced, and that's one of the biggest things we need to remember, is we need to stay balanced with our health and our intake of whatever it is we're taking, whether it's, chocolate or salts or water even. You can OD on water, kids, and you'd think it'd be crazy, but no, it's seriously, you can OD on water. So pay attention. Things in moderation. Don't overdo it just because somebody says you should or it seems like a good idea. And just like that, it is bottom of the hour already. And craziness. So we will be right back, and I'm going to talk about pepper next, specifically black pepper, and we'll see you soon. Hello, my lovelies. This is Paisley Wild, and we are off adventuring into the spaces between. Being broadcast live tonight, of course, on Truth Frequency Radio, iHeartRadio, Tune In, and TalkStream Live. And, so tonight we're talking about the solutions you can find in your kitchen cabinet. Because sometimes, yeah, we need to. Actually, there is a lot of stuff in our kitchen cabinet that helps us. A lot of studies have been done lately, or have come out on turmeric, also known as curcumin. We'll talk about that a little bit later. But yeah, there's a lot of really, really good stuff in our kitchen cabinets that are not just, yummy to eat, but they're good for us too. So the next one on my list, just because kind of goes hand in hand with table salt, is black pepper. I know that I prefer to put black pepper on, like, my egg whites, my peppers. I use salt and pepper on most everything. Salt, pepper, garlic, and onion, and paprika. Those are my standbys. And they fit into pretty much every dish, honestly, in some way, shape, or form. So yeah, it's just kind of figuring it out, right? So black pepper. Black pepper, it comes, well, hold on, what? Oh, donuts. Yeah, donuts, not so much the black pepper, but I can't eat donuts anymore, so sad. So black pepper grows on a tree. Trees generally get about 20 feet tall when they're full grown, full adult height. And if you've seen red pepper and black pepper and pink peppercorns and all that, honestly, they're all the same plant. They're just harvested at different times. And then the berries are dried because it's a berry and it dries out. And then that's what you use in your pepper grinder to have fresh pepper. Pepper is associated, or peppercorn, we'll just call it peppercorn, is associated with the planet Mars. It is a fire element, and it is quite masculine in nature. And it's hot. It's warm and fuzzy. It's hot, yes. And it's one of the oldest spices known to man. It's been used for millennia. When I was looking it up and researching and stuff, I think it was known to be used at least 4,000 years ago. So that's kind of a long time for it to be around, right? It's not broke. No one's tried to fix it. It's just, good. So 4,000 years ago, this is just crazy. It's, of course, been around for so long that, of course, it's been used medicinally. It's been used in magic, and of course we use it in the kitchen, right? It's probably used for magic and medicine long before it was ever used in the kitchen. Probably. I won't say yes, but probably. Like he says, black pepper is good to use if you're short on meats for your dish. Somehow it makes the stews taste like there is more meat in there, plus it adds a kick. There's actually a reason why black pepper makes your meats taste stronger. It is because of the key element in it, known as piperine. So piperine is a really awesome oil. We'll get to that in a minute. So peppercorns can be used for inner strength or protection, and spell jars, amulets, or sachets. And I am adding the magical side of these, but I'm really trying to focus on the medicinal side also, more than the magical side tonight. So, yes. Let's see. Peppercorns can be used to protect the boundaries of your property or home. You probably don't want to leave it on the surface. You'll want to bury it just a little bit. Or, leaving your sachets out and about. Amulets to, protect the corners of your home or your property. You can add other hot spices to aid in repelling negative energies, like chili pepper or paprika. Should you have someone come for a visit and you don't want them to ever come back, I can think of a few door knockers that I don't ever want knocking on my door again. You can sprinkle their path when they leave with freshly ground pepper and salt. And it tells them to not come back. Pretty simple, though. It's like, what are you doing? I'm just seasoning the path. They can't come back. So the medical reasons. Well, if you're into Ayurvedic healing, pepper is really good because it's an anti-kapha herb. It burns up toxins known as ama, and it helps other herbs to function correctly within the body. Let's see. I don't say it in here in my little cheat sheet, which I am slowly putting the cheat sheets on the website just a little bit. So as I say, pepper after they leave, like he says, the Ruby moved out today. I'll be right back. She's going to go season that path with some go away powder. Go away dust. I could see it now. You remember those old metal tins, the aluminum cans you used to have, like with powdered sugar or cinnamon and sugar to sprinkle on top of like your French toast or whatever. You often see them in like restaurants. So you fill it with salt and black pepper next to the front door, and you see the missionaries come up, shake it out. They're like, "What are you doing?" It's a repellent spell. You have to go away now. I'm doing magic in front of you. Blah, ha ha ha. Oh goodness. There's times when I wonder if I shouldn't do that same thing to like the Girl Scouts trying to come sell Girl Scout cookies because I love Girl Scout cookies. I can't have Girl Scout cookies. I miss them. Maybe someday. Maybe. Anyways, back to pepper. So pepper, the piperine actually, stimulates your digestion and helps to increase the good bacteria in your gut. So it's really good for your gut health. Piperine is very high in antioxidants, and it helps to prevent or delay the damaging effects of free radicals, which as studies are showing are really, really bad for you. Black pepper is quite anti-inflammatory. So piperine can suppress inflammation that commonly occurs with arthritis, heart disease, and cancer. It can also suppress inflammation due to asthma. Black pepper has been found to improve memory and to decrease the formation of amyloid plaques within the brain. So amyloid plaque often shows up when someone's developing Alzheimer's. So so black pepper comes in the pepper, of course. You can also get the essential oil. Just be cautious with the essential oil. If you don't mind using it as a warming oil, you can use it like a massage oil. Same with capsaicin. Piperine has also been shown to decrease blood sugar levels after eating and to improve insulin sensitivity. So black pepper also binds to other herbs and things in that you're ingesting, and it enhances or allows more of those things to enter your system. So when Lucky says black pepper somehow makes the stews taste like there's more meat in there, it's because it's allowing the flavors of the meat to be enhanced as you eat it. So it's an enhancer, not just as a seasoning, but it enhances the things already in there. It's quite the clip there, drone. So when it comes to preparation and dosage, you just want to put a little pinch of black pepper, ground pepper, or a few peppercorns into your teas. And that will increase the warmth of your blend. So if you're doing like a throat coat, for instance, type tea, or something like that, it helps to soothe the throat just a little bit if there's inflammation from a sore throat, for instance. But it just increases the warmth of the blend, and it allows the medicinal properties of some of those teas to flow better. So if you check out the website, I just recently posted a blog, and I've got salt and pepper. And in looking at these live, I'm like, oh, wait, I got to go back and fix the salt because I missed some things, and there's a spell check and grammar stuff. So, but that's going to be the format of the pages. They are printable. I'll probably put a copyright thing down at the bottom. But if you do print them, you can just insert them into your own recipe book, if you will, because I think it's important to have, a dozen or so go-to things. It's, I think we need to just have more options available to us. Unleash the inner Girl Scout. You are funny, Drone. So, cinnamon is the next one on my list here, which I think cinnamon's another really common seasoning or herb that we have in our pantry. If I can never remember to spell it, I have to remember. Blah. So cinnamon arrived in Europe from Egypt around 2000 BC, so another just over 4,000 years ago. And they're not sure where it originated or why people started chewing on the bark of the cinnamon trees. Because yes, cinnamon, if you don't know, is a bark. It's not a seed, it's not a flower, it's not a leaf or petal. It is bark, and it's dried, and you grind it up, and you sprinkle it on your yummy stuff. And it was another one of those. There's a reason why the spice traders were rich. I mean, they would spend the money, and they would carry it around, and little bitty quantities would make a lot of money because they were hard to source. And in Europe, they didn't have a lot of cinnamon trees growing. That was more of a warm climate plant, like in Africa. Sorry, it rains a little bit too much in England, especially compared to Africa. Different kind of environment, right? So, go away. Pop-ups. So, cinnamon was absolutely as prized as salt. It was considered a gift for royalty. So if horchata, I love horchata. It was considered a gift, a very benevolent gift from one monarch to another. So if you were, trying to convince someone to marry your daughter off to your son or their son or vice versa or whatever, it could have been son and daughter. There was, it was a good trade gift. There's a lot of value. According to Pliny the Elder, he was a Roman pound, which was about 327 grams, cost about 1,500 denarii. And so that was about 50 months of an average worker's wages. So if you think about it, if you 327 grams, that is not very much, kids. That is approximately 3/4 of a pound, a short 3/4 of a pound. So think about how much money you make per month. Multiply that by 50. And that's about how much a pound or 3/4 of a pound of cinnamon would cost. Isn't that insane? That's crazy. No wonder it's a gift for the monarchy or the gods. It's a great, great, great offering for the gods. Ancient Egyptians used cinnamon in their embalming processes because it inhibited the growth of bacteria. And that's part of the reason why the Europeans liked it too, because it masked the flavor and the smell of meat that had over-aged or had started to go bad. I gotta tell you, I don't like cinnamon on my meat quite so much. But yeah, they used we use cinnamon as a flavoring for wine. It helps to muddle the wine. You don't have to use a lot, so to make it taste good. You basically, they strip the bark off the trees, then dried it. And so this is another one of those things that you need to make sure is ethically sourced. Yes, mincemeat pie. Yes. It's because, if it's not ethically sourced or propagated correctly, then it won't grow as much. The crop decreases. So cinnamon trees are planted when they're about 2 years old. They're cut back, and the stump is then covered with soil. And so the stump will produce multiple shoots the next year, so that makes more cinnamon to harvest. And then the shoots are cut back and the bark is peeled off and set out to dry in the sun. And the peeled bark naturally curls up into the cinnamon quills that you might see in the store. And then the quills are cut to size, packaged, and shipped around the world. So, again, make sure you are not mixing your medicines with your herbs. So that's something else that, okay, time out. This is a really big deal. It doesn't really matter if you're trying to use the stuff in your kitchen as medicine or not. When you are on medications and maybe you eat a lot of curry, for instance, or you do eat a lot of cinnamon or whatever, you need to make sure your medical professionals know that you eat a lot of a certain thing, because they might impact your medicines that you're taking. Just like for women, if you're on birth control, for instance, and you get an ear infection and you have to take an antibiotic, the antibiotic can counteract the efficacy of your birth control, and you could get pregnant while you are on birth control and the antibiotic at the same time. So be aware, there is some things that happen within the human body when you mix certain things, and you got to make sure that you're not messing things up. And it's a big deal. If you have questions, you need to talk to your medical professional, whether it's your doctor, your pharmacist, whatever. Also, when it comes to pharmacies, try to keep all of your medications sourced at one pharmacy. That way you have one source. You have one pharmacist to talk to who says, hey, what's going on? That's how I found out that some of the things I was taking were really going to be bad for me, because they had a lot of sulfa in them, and I am very allergic to sulfa. And I was like, well, no wonder I'm not healing. I am. Yeah, exactly. Grapefruit might have a problem, counterindication with metformin. Cinnamon, actually, when we get to it, can have problems with insulin too, your blood sugars. So make sure you are communicating appropriately with your medical professionals. Yes. So, cinnamon, let's see, there's two different kinds. There's Ceylon cinnamon, known as true cinnamon, and there's cassia cinnamon, which is the more common variety. Is generally what everybody considers cinnamon, but they're a little bit different. So cinnamon, very, very high in antioxidants. Very high. And polyphenols and such. And there's, some people consider garlic and oregano to be superfoods. Cinnamon actually has more antioxidant activity than any of the other superfood type herbs. Cinnamon has anti-inflammatory properties. So it can, if you've got inflammation somewhere and you're using cinnamon, your body can help fight that inflammation. So, for me, I have a hard time with some of the anti-inflammatory type medications. A lot of people prescribe ibuprofen, and I can't take ibuprofen ibuprofen. So I need something that's a little bit different. So cinnamon is something that I can use to help with inflammation to reduce it. Cinnamon might actually cut the risk of heart disease. In people with type 2 diabetes, 1 gram or about half a teaspoon of cinnamon per day has been shown to have beneficial effects on blood markers. It can reduce the levels of total cholesterol, like your bad LDL and triglycerides, while your good or your HDL cholesterol remains stable. Now, I know that nobody wants to just take spoonfuls of cinnamon because it's actually bad for you. You can get it in a capsule and you can just ingest it as a capsule rather than trying to convince yourself it's like, all right, I'm going to take a tablespoon of cinnamon today. And you sit there, it's like, I'm going to take all day to take a tablespoon of cinnamon. No, you can just take a couple capsules. Cinnamon affects your sensitivity to insulin. So insulin is something that affects your energy usage, regulates your sugar, etc. Insulin helps to transport sugar, your blood sugar, from your bloodstream to your cells. It's the little grocery cart, if you will. And so if you are insulin resistant or type 2 diabetic, then cinnamon can dramatically reduce the insulin resistance. So it helps your insulin do the right job. So it increases the sensitivity, which is really fantastic because a lot of people develop type 2 diabetes as they age. And so being able to, take cinnamon, which is pretty low cost and does not involve injections. But again, make sure you are talking to your doctors like, hey, I take 2 tablespoons of cinnamon every day. The doctor will be like, whoa, what? That's a lot. So just pay attention and make sure you're dosing correctly. Cinnamon can actually lower your blood sugar levels and has an anti-diabetic effect. Cinnamon has been shown, so they've done a lot of studies on this. So this is not just like, ooh, I'm making it up. This is real. Cinnamon has been shown to decrease the amount of glucose that actually enters your bloodstream after a meal. And because it interferes with several digestive enzymes in the process, it slows down the breakdown of the carbohydrates within your digestive tract. So it's not like you're getting a big carbohydrate or sugar hit. It slows it down. And there's a compound within cinnamon that mimics insulin, and so it acts on your cells similarly to insulin. So it helps your glucose go into your cells, and it's actually slower than insulin, so it's a slower sugar burn. So instead of a big sugar rush, it's a little bit of a slower burn. So instead of 4 shots of espresso, you're getting 1 shot of espresso. So generally, the effective dose is 1 to 6 grams per day, and that's half a teaspoon to 2 teaspoons of cinnamon per day. That's why those capsules are really important. Cinnamon can also have some beneficial effects on neurodegenerative diseases, such as Alzheimer's and Parkinson's. So there's compounds that appear in cinnamon that inhibit the buildup of the protein called tau, T-A-U, which is in the brain. It's one of the hallmark symptoms of the Alzheimer's disease. And they've done quite a few studies within mice and lab rats and such. With everything going on, they've not been able to do quite as many studies with people. So cinnamon can also help protect against cancer. And cinnamon, acts by reducing the growth of cancer cells and the formation of blood vessels and tumors, and appears to be toxic to cancer cells, which actually causes the cancer cell death, which is fantastic, right? Cinnamon can help fight bacterial and fungal infections. So cinnamaldehyde, it's a main component of cinnamon, can help fight those infections. And also inhibits the growth of Listeria and Salmonella. So, which, that's really, really awesome too. So it's antimicrobial. and can help with like tooth decay and reduce your bad breath. So in your toothpaste, right? It is thought that cinnamon can help with the HIV virus because, let's see, it just, for some reason, it fights and blocks the development of the HIV infected cells, which I think is fantastic, right? I mean, that's really, really awesome. So cinnamon doesn't necessarily give you energy, but it helps moderate the sugars in your system, so it prolongs that energy boost that you're getting from your coffee. But it also brings you luck. It's good for you as a hot plant. So this will be one of those things that'll show up in my on my website. So we're off to our next break because it's top of the hour already. Can you believe that? And we'll do singing bowl when we get back because yes, we need more bowl. Be right back, guys. Hello, my lovelies. This is Paisley Wild, and we're off adventuring into the spaces between. So during break, Leo asked if there are any books that can help with learning about plant medicine. The Herbal Apothecary, I really like. I have that one. Sadly, I only have it in PDF. I bought the e-copy. It made sense. And now I want physical copies. And that's something, you think about. Sure. Yes, there are quite a few benefits to having an electronic copy, but sometimes you just really need the physical copy on hand. And so, yeah, I've got a small wish list. Also, the Modern Herbal Dispensatory is another good one. And that one is by Thomas Easley. I can't spell Easley. And Stephen Horne. And those recommendations will be in the show notes. So, if you can get the e-copy, and that's what you want, Leo, absolutely do it. I do like having something physical because sometimes I like to make notes. And because, like, hey, I found this here, harvest is best here, highlight different things. Alchemy of Herbs by Rosalee de la Foret is another good one. So there's 3 of them, Leo. I hope that helps. And there's a lot out there, honestly. It's just a matter of finding which one has the best layout for you specifically, because not all books are created equal. You'll want something that has good graphics. Because you're going to want images that you can readily source and look at when you're outside looking at things. And some of those are pretty darn descriptive. So you're welcome. All right. All right, singing bowl time, because you know what? I think we need some. So there. Never enough singing bowl. That's just all there is to it. So, I haven't actually talked about garlic tonight, and I don't know if I will. I kind of want to go some different directions. Just because everybody does that one. Well, not everybody, but you know what I'm saying. Next one on my list is basil, actually. So basil comes in quite a few different varieties. Where'd it go? So basil, there's sweet basil, which is the most widely grown, most popular basil. Often used in Italian dishes. You can buy it dried in supermarkets and such. Often has a licorice clove type of flavor. Bush or Greek basil. It has a very strong aroma, but a mild flavor. And it can be substituted for sweet basil. Grows in a bush, has smaller leaves, and it's one of those herbs that you can have in a pot, and it works just great. Thai basil has more of an anise, licorice type flavor and is used quite a bit in Thai food, Southeast Asia dishes. Cinnamon basil is very native to Mexico, has a very cinnamon-like flavor and scent, often served with legumes or spicy stir-fried vegetables. There's lettuce basil, which features large, wrinkled, soft leaves with a licorice-like flavor. Works really good with salads or tossed with tomatoes and olive oil. So the basil most commonly used in supplements and herbal teas is called holy basil, also known as Tulsi, Tulsi. Tulsi has a slightly different flavor, and where did my link go? There it is. So Tulsi has been around, or holy basil has been around for a long time. Another one of those 4,000-year-old plants, and is considered one of the most revered medicinal herbs on the planet. Holy basil is a plant that has violet flowers and blossoms. The stems are green and have a little bit of a purple tinge to them. Medicinal preparations are made from leaves, stems, and the seeds. It's often used in cooking. Thai dishes specifically. And it's got kind of a spicy flavor. It's also known as the hot basil, if you will. So it's a little spicier than the other basil varieties. So the Hindus actually worship holy basil. And it's considered the mother medicine of nature because it's something that promotes a healthy body, mind, and spirit, and is often planted around Hindu shrines. The name Tulsi means incomparable one. So in Western medicine, holy basil is valued as an adaptogen, meaning it helps the body adapt to stress. And so it's used to combat some of the negative side effects of stress in the body. So it can help maintain your blood sugar levels and promote longevity. So holy basil specifically has a lot for it. It's adaptogenic. It's anti-arthritic, anticoagulant, anti-diabetic, anti-inflammatory, antipyretic, which means it helps prevent itching, antidiarrheal, antimicrobial, which includes antibacterial, antiviral, antifungal. It's an antioxidant. It's an antitussive, which means it helps to treat cough and helps protect your liver, brain, and heart. There's a lot of antis right there, right? I mean, that's a big deal. Holy basils are if you could have like 12 things in your garden and you could plant anything in your garden, peppercorn would be one, and holy basil would definitely be another one because it's just really, really good for you. Cinnamon, I would grow cinnamon too. But yeah, it's really good. Fever, nausea, indigestion, cold, flu, just all sorts of things. And it's almost a heal-all, if you will. It can... So basil in general, not just the holy basil, but basil in general helps with your digestive and nervous system. So it's good for both headaches and insomnia. And it helps balance the acids within the body and helps your body achieve that normal pH level it should have. It's very anti-inflammatory, so if you're dealing with arthritis or inflammatory bowel, like IBS kind of type conditions, it's really good there too because it has just powerful essential oils like eugenol, citronellol, linalool, and those are all inflammation-fighting oils, and they're another one of those really good things, right? They also fight free radicals. Basil is really, really good for your skin, from within. So you take it and you eat it, but you can also use it as a mask, if you will. So if you take basil and make a paste with basil, sandalwood, and rose water, and you put it on your face and let it sit for 20 minutes, and then wash off with cold water. Because it's anti-inflammatory and antimicrobial, it helps, reduce some of the puffiness that we get in our face. I got puffy every so often. I have the shopping bags under my eyes, right? But antimicrobial also helps fight acne. Now, acne isn't always caused by, germs and such on your skin. Sometimes it's hormonal, but it can help reduce that. Basil is really good for helping to manage depression and anxiety, which is one of those really, really good things, right? Because it is such an anti-stress agent. If that's something you can add to your diet naturally, if you're having a lot of anxiety in your world, how can you add more basil to your life? What can you add? How can you add it? There's, recipes with basil. Tomato basil pasta, pesto. And when in doubt, add pesto. Yeah. I like to make hummus. So I went to Costco today, and one of the samples they had was hummus, and tried it because I like hummus. And it's like, all I could think is like, it's only okay. My hummus is better. It's like, hummus and pesto. But I also like noodles with pesto. Chicken pesto. Yeah, on noodles. I have some cauliflower noodles, so I want to try those. But yeah, there's so much out there. Diabetes management. So, here all these people are worried about insulin and making sure they can get their diabetes medications. But there's so much within our diet that we can use to help fight our diabetes. I say ours. I don't have it. I don't have that problem. I actually have low blood sugar issues. So maybe too much basil. But basically, you have to be aware of what you're eating. And if all you're eating is junk food, it's like that whole garbage in, garbage out. What you put into your body, that's what it's going to do. Sure, you have some calories to burn, and you will get some nutrients from your junk food. But a truly healthy diet will support all of you. And sometimes you do have to change the way you eat to match the lifestyle you want, or the body you want, or the stuff that you have to deal with. I deal with a lot of inflammation type issues and pain, so I've had to change my diet. I've cut things out that cause me pain and inflammation because I don't like to be in pain. Go figure, right? So what is it that's going to help you? Drone says we only get what we give. So yeah, if you just give junk food to your body, if all you eat is McDonald's, for instance, you're going to get a lot of empty carbs that do nothing but make you unhealthy. So eat better. And I know it's expensive to eat healthy, and I get it. I get that it's expensive. I don't understand why, for crying out loud. But remember, we need to eat food, not food products. There is a difference. So, so basil can slow the release of sugar in your blood, which is really, really important for diabetics. So it has a very, very low glycemic load. And the essential oil also helps cut down in triglyceride and cholesterol levels. So that's also a persistent issue within diabetics. There's other medications, like if you have to take a steroid for inflammation, like say your back spasms, and they want to give you the steroid to help combat that inflammation, which I don't know how that works, but it does, like prednisone. Well, prednisone, if you take too much prednisone, it's not good for you. Eat some more pesto. I'm just saying. Basil helps support liver function and helps detoxify your body. Just like drinking lemon juice or cranberry juice is really, really good for you. Yeah, you want good, healthy liver function and detoxify your body. If you have an upset tummy, basil can help reduce that bloating and the water retention. So if your tummy's just upset, and if you have a loss of appetite or acid reflux, it can help there too. And yeah, basil pesto hummus is on my to-do list this weekend. I'm just saying, it's going to happen. Because yes. And I do have links for everything that I'm talking about in the show notes, just so you know. Let's see. With basil, just see, let's see what magical. No, I'm going to talk about rosemary next. So, but with basil, where's my cheat? Basil is a big deal on the magical side also. And so not just is it a superfood, basically, for you to consume and help your health, but it's also has a lot going on with magic. Dispels confusion, fears and weakness, drives off hostile spirits, especially the holy basil. It can help with wealth, sympathy, protection. If you put it on the floors, it can help protect from evil. Sprinkle an infusion of basil outside a building, or where you hope to be employed for good luck in a job interview. I have it in your business to attract money and success. You can wear it or carry it to aid in attracting money and prosperity. So basil is a prosperity plant. Not only is it bringing you financial prosperity, it also helps to bring you health prosperity. So yes, one of those really, 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 really good things. You want that. You want more basil. Because, yeah, why not? All those good things, we want all those good things. And it's good things without a lot of penalty. It's because if you're eating basil, you're eating healthier anyways. Let's see. I don't need that. Next, rosemary is next on my list. So rosemary is another one of those older herbs. It just much older. And so it has been around for a very long time. So is known for strengthening the memory and helping the brain. So is cultivated in ancient gardens. Roman priests used rosemary as incense in religious ceremonies, and many cultures use it as an herb to protect from evil spirits and witches. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. I just think that's funny. In England, it was burned in the homes of those who had died from illness and placed on coffins before the grave was filled with dirt. So for magical usages, burn rosemary to rid a home of negative energy or as an incense while you meditate. You can also hang bundles on your front door to keep harmful people, like burglars, from entering. So, let's see. Go through here to my list. Rosemary. You can put rosemary within a poppet for good health. You can use it in a lust spell. You can use it to improve your memory, or if you put it in your pillow, it helps prevent nightmares. If you are wearing it while reading or completing tasks, it'll help improve your memory of the material and aid in clear thinking. So if you're a student, rosemary might be something good to have you around. If you do healing magic, it is good to rinse your hands in an infusion of rosemary. So just water with rosemary in it for purification, So rosemary is also associated with the Fae. So it's also called elf leaf, sea dew, polar plant, guard robe, compass weed, dew of the sea, Mary's cloak, Stella Maria, star of the sea, and incensier. So it's just a few things there, right? So some benefits, medical benefits of rosemary. Let's see. It's used in Ayurvedic medicine also. And people will use it in a tea, which, okay. So rosemary is very high in antioxidants. It's also known to be an antimicrobial and anti-inflammatory. So I've mentioned a couple different things tonight that are antimicrobial. Antimicrobial generally means antiviral, antibacterial, and antifungal. So, what do we normally deal with about this time of year here in the Northern Hemisphere? Well, we start looking at our fall colds. Even before COVID was a really big deal, we still had the flu, the common cold. And all those things are still around. And so if there's foods you can have to help alleviate your symptoms of the common cold, rosemary is one of those. You should probably have it on hand. And honestly, it's just one of those plants that's good to have. So, Lucky says, I love rosemary. In Italy, all strong women have rosemary in their gardens. The scent also stimulates mental acuity and recall. There are times when my brain just goes on strike and I need all the help I can get. Period. So, yes, more rosemary, please. The antioxidants help protect your body from oxidative damage and inflammation that can lead to chronic diseases like cancer, heart disease, or type 2 diabetes. They can be found in a variety of plants and fruits. So rosemary tea also contains compounds that have anti-inflammatory and antimicrobial properties. So it has quite a few of the polyphenolic compounds like rosmarinic acid and carnosic acid. Blah, blah. So due to its antioxidant capability, rosmarinic acid is often used as a natural preservative to increase the shelf life of perishable foods. So not only, that's why I've seen it in pickling. Now, I'm not really a fan of rosemary when I'm pickling something, but I've seen it in, and it's just not a flavor I like, but that's me. But there are quite a few other things you can use. So it can help lower your blood sugar. Another one of those plants that you need to have in your world if you're dealing with diabetes or pre-diabetic, because it does have that insulin-like effect on your blood sugar levels. Helps improve your mood and your memory. So if you wake up one morning and you just hate everything, drink some rosemary tea or inhale compounds, so crush it in your hands and smell it in your hands. There was a study that they did, and they found that if you take 500 milligrams of oral rosemary twice a day for a month, it lowers your anxiety levels and improved your memory and sweet sleep quality among college students. Let's talk about a group of people that just definitely need help. In college kids. I remember being in college. Oof. I don't miss that. Smelling the rosemary itself is beneficial. Because just smelling it stimulates your brain. So they are showing that rosemary can help prevent the negative effects of brain aging and has a protective effect against neurodegenerative diseases such as Alzheimer's and Parkinson's. Rosemary tea has been found to slow the progression of age-related eye diseases, which is, that's kind of a big deal, guys. Not everybody likes to wear glasses, which I get. So it also can help boost weight loss, even with the high-fat diet. So Leo says, sounds like a lot, if not all of these, might help fight off those seasonal issues and other stuff. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. Yes. So also, rosemary tea can also promote hair growth. Now, they haven't done a lot of official studies. It's just they're showing that there is, if you do a hair rinse or of rosemary tea, you may see some hair growth. Now, one of the problems here, just be aware, if you're taking an anticoagulant, in other words, if you have a clotting disorder of some sort, like you have too many clots, you can have an adverse reaction. Diuretics, lithium, that kind of thing. So just be aware of what's going on. And honestly, it doesn't take a lot of rosemary to make tea. Like a teaspoon of loose leaves to 10 ounces of water to make the tea twice a day. That's not much. And you can add it to other things. Add some black pepper. Why not? Anyways, bottom of the hour, we're going to our last break of the night. And when we come back, Drone says dill. So we'll look at dill. Be right back. Hello, my lovelies. This is Paisley Wild, and we are off adventuring into the spaces between. Leo has an interesting comment. Actually, he asked me if I could cover the mints. I was like, maybe tomorrow night, because we only have half an hour yet left tonight. I could talk about this stuff for months, and still would not cover everything. There's so much natural medicine in our world that is often not at the front of our brains when we get sick. It's like, oh, I'm not feeling good. I got a sore throat. I better take some NyQuil, some Dayquil, some Tylenol, some ibuprofen, that kind of thing. We don't stop and think about the things that are in our cupboard, the things we buy every day, the things we eat daily. How can they help our health? And I think we just need to be more aware. And it's not always easy, and I get it. He also says, it's crazy how I thought I knew a little about medicine and yet seemed to know nothing at all. Well, you know what? We all know a little bit. Some of it's intuitive. It's like, oh, I feel better. You think about your comfort foods when you don't feel good. Some are just comfort foods because they're comfort foods, and some are comfort foods because they actually make you feel better. I know that I often like a peanut butter sandwich, Doritos, and chocolate milk if I'm just needing something. Now, I can't have most of those things anymore, so it's just frustrating. Trying to figure out new comfort foods. Honestly, I like hummus, and I've got a chicken cracker thingy recipe that I found on Pinterest that is pretty fantastic. There's no carbs to it. It's all proteins, and it's really good, and fantastic with hummus. So, anyways, Drone suggested dill, so we'll talk about dill next. So dill is a very light and distinctive flavor that's often used in salads, fish, egg, vegetables, and meat dishes, sauces, and dressings. You want to add dill at the end of cooking because it loses its flavor when heated. So use fresh dill when you can, since dried dill has very little flavor. Dill seed has a stronger flavor than the leaves and should be used early in the cooking so the heat can bring out the flavor. What, Leo? A peanut butter sandwich with Doritos on the side and a chocolate milk. Just peanut butter. Peanut butter and banana. Actually, to be real specific, it was a peanut butter banana on toasted cinnamon raisin bread with Doritos and chocolate milk. That was my teenage go-to comfort food. Partly because if I made that, my sisters did not try to steal it from me. They had a bad habit of trying to steal what I was eating or drinking. So yeah, when we're using seeds and stuff, when it comes to herbs, often we need to heat them in oil to bring out the full flavor, versus fresh leaves and such often go in at the end because they have a milder flavor. And yes, when drying things, often we do lose a lot of taste and flavor. So if you're drying your herbs and such, try to dry them so that you save and preserve as much of the flavor, the height of the picking season, kind of a thing. And it was, yeah. Sorry. Leo's like, oh, I thought it was a whole sandwich. No, the oddest sandwich I ever liked. Okay, pregnancy moment. When I was pregnant with my son, I craved egg sandwiches with grape jelly. Personally, I loathe grape jelly, so I don't know why. It was just... I'm really glad I'm past that phase, and I don't have the urge to go back. But it does explain quite a few things about my son. Just, yeah. Dill. Back to the dill. Peanut butter sandwiches. Now that I'm gluten-free, I will use corn tortillas. I will toast them in the toasters. They're nice and toasted and firm. And I will just smear a little peanut butter on there and fold them in half. And it's like a peanut butter taco. It's a good snack. Yes, I know I'm weird. It's okay. So, dill is, I'm making people freak out. Lucky says she's shuddering. So, dill on the magical side, dill is good for money, protection, luck, and lust. It can be used in love and protection charms. Very effective at keeping away dark forces and useful for house blessings. It keeps the mind cognizant of the line between superstition and the realities of magic. So place seeds in a muslin bag and hang it in the shower to attract women. Ooh. You can also use dill seeds in money spells. The scent of dill is said to stimulate lust. So you can add grains of dill seed to a bath before going on a date to make yourself a little bit more irresistible. It's also called anato, anaton, dillweed, dill seed, dilly, and garden dill. So dill is one of those good ones, yes? On the medicinal side, I mean, dill is used in everything from pickles to fish, right? And I think it's just a really pretty plant also. It looks, for me, I like it with sunflowers and carnations and daisies. It just, to me, it's just a pretty plant. So when it comes to your health benefits, though, of dill, there are a few. So dill actually is another one of those really awesome herbs. You can grow it as a perennial herb or an annual herb, depending on where you live. Sometimes it'll, once a year or twice a year. Benefits of dill can be derived from the organic compounds, the vitamins and minerals. They have monoterpenes, limonene, carvone, and ethoferone, as well as flavonoids like vicinin and camphorol. When they say don't eat the things that you can't pronounce, never look into Latin, because then you can pronounce everything, right? But dill also has vitamins A and C and trace amounts of folate, iron, and manganese. So it's another one of those good for you. Trace minerals. Fantastical. So dill can help with the... You're funny, Joan. So dill can help with insomnia. And it's considered to have ancient medicinal properties that are simultaneously stimulating, sedative, and hypnotic. So the flavonoids and vitamin B complex vitamins present in the essential oils can help activate the secretion of certain enzymes and hormones that have calming and hypnotic effects, thereby helping you get more sleep or a good night's sleep. The calcium in the dill can help contribute to the adequate levels of calcium in the body, which is good to support you and prevent bone loss and loss of bone mineral density. Osteoporosis is a big deal, especially, do you drink a lot of soda? If you do, you should worry about your osteoporosis because there's a lot of things in soda that are not good for you. Dill can also help repair injured bones as well. Dill has been associated with diabetes also and the management of insulin levels. Again, that type 2 and the insulin resistance. Dill can help balance out your insulin levels. It's also a protection against free radicals and carcinogens. So the monoterpene components of dill have been shown to activate the enzyme glutathione S-transferase, which helps attach the antioxidant molecule glutathione to oxidized molecules that would generally damage the body. So it's chemoprotective food, kind of like parsley. So it can help neutralize certain types of carcinogens, which is a really good thing, like cigarette smoke, charcoal grill smoke, and garbage incinerators. Antibacterial also. So similar to like garlic, for instance, it has bacteriostatic or bacteria regulating effects. Leo says, I hated learning Latin for medical training. Yes. So let's see what else. Dill can help prevent excess gas. I have not talked about cilantro. I have a complicated relationship with cilantro, just so you know. I don't actually like it. It's kind of essential in some dishes, and I have to have it in there. But honestly, I'm not that excited about cilantro. So, but yeah, if you are having a gas problem, instead of taking the Beano, maybe have some dill. Dill has been known to help calm hiccups, which sometimes hiccups are caused by certain allergies or hypersensitivity, hyperactivity, or even nervous malfunctioning. I have met someone that just had a hiccup about every 30 minutes, and it was, I don't know if it was a nervous disorder or if it was a true issue, but yeah, I would have, yeah. Anyways. Dill has been also known to stimulate menstruation. So if you are having girl problems, PMS, that kind of thing, it can help maintain proper menstrual cycles in women. Dill seeds and leaves are also good mouth and breath fresheners. The essential oils are germicidal, antioxidant, and disinfectant in nature, so they're good for your mouth health, which is pretty freaking cool. Let's see. Yeah, I think I have time for one more. And cilantro has been requested. Let's see. Where is it? Can't spell cilantro. No. Cilantro is one known to be protection of gardeners. It brings peace to the home and helps attune one with their soul. So it's a peaceful cilantro. There we go. Which, you know what? Even though I don't necessarily like cilantro, I do like coriander, which is the same kind of thing. Which most people don't realize. It's not there. Coriander. So cilantro and coriander they are the same plant, but they do have slightly different benefits, if you will. So coriander is love, health, immortality, and perfection. So you can put cilantro, tie fresh cilantro with a ribbon and hang it in the home to bring peace and protection. You can add coriander seeds or cilantro to love charms and spells to bring romance, or to use in ritual work to ease the pain of a broken heart. It can promote peace among those who are unable to get along. You can throw the seeds in lieu of rice during hand fastings and other rituals. You can put the seeds in love sachets and spells. Powdered seeds to wine for an effective lust potion, so if you're wanting to feel lusty. You can wear or carry the seeds to ward off disease and migraines. So, also known as Chinese parsley and yisai. Also good for migraines and associated with the element of fire. Let's see. Some medical benefits or health benefits. Yes. So cilantro and coriander. It's funny. I look up cilantro and I get coriander. They're the same plant, guys. So cilantro is the fluffy leaves. Coriander is the seed. I like coriander with my pork. It's just the way it works. And they're both used to flavor dishes all over the place. The plant is called Coriandrum sativum, so it's related to parsley, carrots, and celery. And so coriander seeds, extracts, and oils can help with blood sugar. A lot of these are good for blood sugar. Have you noticed that? Interesting. So those who have low blood sugar or take diabetes medication should practice caution with coriander because it is very effective in lowering blood sugar. Studies are showing that coriander seeds promote enzyme activity, which helps to remove sugar from the blood. So a single dose, which is 9.1 milligrams per pound of body weight, can extract or can decrease blood sugar by basically it's a big deal. I don't know what the mmol/big L, it's something per liter, in 6 hours. So basically it's very similar to glibenclamide, yeah. So be aware, though, if you are on insulin of any kind, that if you're using coriander too much or parsley, your blood sugar is going to be all over the place. Something most people don't realize. Coriander is very good high in antioxidants and helps prevent cellular damage caused by free radicals. And the antioxidants have also been shown to fight inflammation. So the compounds include terpenine, quercetin, tocopherols, which have anti-cancer and immune boosting, also neuroprotective effects. Let's see. Was a study that showed the seed extract lowered inflammation and slowed the growth of lung, prostate, breast, and colon cancer cells. So there's a study focused on that specifically, which is a big deal. And that's a big deal, guys. Because breast cancer and colon cancer, prostate cancer, lung cancer, those are all very fast-growing, sometimes cancers. So some studies have shown that coriander has lowered heart disease risk factors such as high blood pressure and bad cholesterol levels. Coriander extract uses or can act as a diuretic, helping your body to flush out excess sodium and water, which will lower your blood pressure. Research is also showing that coriander can help lower your cholesterol. So it'll lower the bad cholesterol and increase the good cholesterol. And if you eat pungent spices and herbs similar to coriander, you often reduce your sodium intake because you just don't have that need for that extra flavor that salt can give. Those populations that do consume large amounts of coriander, among other spices, so more into the spices of the food and the flavor of the food, the rates of heart disease tend to be lower because those are often your Mediterranean and indigenous type diets around the world, especially compared to the Western diet, which is salt, sugar, and preservatives. So, fewer preservatives if you want to preserve your health, right? So many brain ailments, including Parkinson's, Alzheimer's, MS, are associated with types of inflammation. So coriander's anti-inflammation properties can safeguard against those specific diseases. They've also done a study showing that coriander extract has protected against nerve cell damage following drug-induced seizures. So basically, if you have an adverse reaction to a medication or perhaps an overdose, so you can help protect the nerve cell damage. Let's see. It has also been shown to manage anxiety. Not quite as well as, say, like diazepam, but it does reduce. It's almost as effective as diazepam, not quite. So just I'm trying to do more research on that. That one's on hold because they don't want to say, "Ooh, coriander's better than diazepam." Well, let's stop and think about it. How expensive is coriander? How expensive is diazepam? Yeah, they're going to spend a lot of money to get that one approved. and like 30 years to get it approved, unlike other things that get fast tracked because, which is probably why I only have so many people in chat and there's people missing. They probably didn't get the alerts because I talk about being healthy and eating food rather than food products. Yeah. Anyways, coriander seed oil may accelerate and promote healthy digestion. And so they did a study, an 8-week study with on people with IBS, and they found that 30 drops of coriander herbal medication taken 3 times a day significantly decreased abdominal pain, bloating, and discomfort in a big way. So coriander is used, or extract is used as an appetite stimulant in traditional Iranian medicine. So again, Eastern medicine, Western medicine, but it's not just. Yes, Leo, I dare. Leo says, "How dare you?" Yeah, I want you all to be healthy for crying out loud. Eat the real food, not the food products. Coriander also contains antimicrobial compounds that can fight certain infections and foodborne illnesses. Dodecanol, which is a compound in coriander, may fight bacteria similar to salmonella, which is food poisoning. If you are worried about food poisoning, coriander might be a good thing for you. Their coriander seeds are among several Indian spices that can fight bacteria responsible for UTIs. So honestly, I feel that there is not a single disease out there in our world that cannot be fixed or treated with what we eat. There are the plants, the seeds, the herbs, the oils, the flowers, the extracts, the roots, whatever. It is out there. We just need to apply it appropriately. Drone says it sucks that medicinal or pain pills can become such addictive. Yeah, power through the pain instead of drugs if possible. Yeah, there's been times I've refused the pain pills because I just don't want to deal with it, and it's gotten more annoying over the years. And there's other times it's like, no, I need 4 hours of just less pain. And that's the frustrating part. Sometimes you just want to feel as close to normal as possible for a few hours, so you do the thing, and then it becomes habitual, and then what? So coriander can have several skin benefits for like rashes and dermatitis. So it doesn't directly affect diaper rash by itself, but if you add it to other things, it can help soothe diaper rash, for instance. But it can also prevent cellular damage that can lead to skin aging and skin damage from ultraviolet B radiation. So some people use the coriander leaf juice for skin conditions like acne, pigmentation, oiliness, or dryness. So it's, again, some of that natural mask that you might use. The coriander is actually really easy to add to your diet. The seeds are more earthy, and the leaves are more pungent and citrus-like. So, yes, I know that the leaves are pungent and citrus-like. For me, they taste like Blue Dawn dish soap. So, it just, yeah. So the cilantro is good in cold pasta salads, lentils, tomato salsa, Thai noodle dishes, that kind of thing. You can put it with burritos, salsas, marinades, that kind of thing. The seeds themselves are good for pickled vegetables, rubs, roasted vegetables, lentils. Warming them releases the aroma, and then they can be ground and used in pastes and doughs. So yes. There's so much in our kitchen cabinets. Besides the little spice bottles that we're like, well, what's this for? I've used this thing once. And so why do I still have it? Well, because you needed it, for crying out loud. Look into the benefits of it before you get rid of it. Your kitchen cabinet can be a medicinal cupboard as well. Same with your teas. And holy cow, just like that, 2 hours are gone. Boom. It is the end of my day here. So I will see you guys tomorrow night. So merry meet and merry part and merry meet again. This is Paisley Wild. Check out the website, paisleywild.com. We'll see you tomorrow.